here, welcome back to another video. Today we are on floor 98, TOA Hard for the Lyrith rotation. I think I struggled on this floor a little bit and had to try out a couple different teams, but I think I beat it with, like, on the third try or something. I tried using I can't remember which one it was, but in the 90s I used this same exact team, but with Vero leader, and that didn't work out, and I think for some reason I failed and then realized that having Beretta leader may have worked, so it did according to this video. The video is really long, so I'm afraid that I failed and had to restart it, but I don't think I did because I feel like it might just take this long with this team. We'll have to see. If I fail, then I'll have to redo the video and actually show the correct one. So, we have some time here to chat. It's going to take a while, so I'll try to think of random stuff to say. For this wave, you guys know I always use Vero to start working on the water jokers, or water anything pretty much, because Beretta won't be landing his dots on them very often compared to other elements. So that's kind of what I'm doing. The water ones have a res, so you have to watch out for that. And I don't have any buff removal on my team, so I have to tank it out. And I think that ended up being fine. I guess I'll talk about the last wave. So the last wave is, I think, 2 Velijules and a Charlotte, which is the Wind Occult girl, and then 2 Fire Archangels. I don't really know why I brought this team. I'm pretty sure the team that I tried before this one was my standard TOA team, TOA Hard team, which is Beretta, Vero, Arya, Bella, Mav, and for some reason that did not work out. If the Velijules move at all and get their immunity up, the immunity is so long, the time it's up on them, I think I just couldn't guarantee that I was stunning them or something like that. I can't remember why. We'll figure it out, because I'm watching this now. I should really write down notes or something, because I think that'd be helpful, but I just kind of did the floors and didn't write notes because I'm lazy. Maybe I should write a note to write notes. Write notes. If I wrote notes, I could maybe walk you guys through it better, because I could go through all my troubleshooting, but I've talked about this before in my other videos, and I guess I can briefly do it now. Basically, the troubleshooting that I do is try out my standard TOA team usually, which I mentioned it before. Beretta, Vero, Arya, Bella, Mav. It's just perma-stun pretty much, and if that doesn't work for some reason, if the enemy monsters have some sort of special skills where my team's not too effective against that, then I will go ahead and use something else. So even for the floor 89, the Joltan Kume level, I think I even tried that team first, and then it didn't work at all, and then once I fail it, I kind of realized, whoa, I'm going to need to bring something completely different, because I just can't tank these guys, or heal through it. And then I kind of start working from there. So either this team was the one that I just used last level. No, it wasn't, because I failed. You saw me switch Beretta and Vero. So I pretty much try a team starting from somewhere and then start to think why that failed, and then switch the team up based on what I think would work. So the example that I gave in my last video was TOA Hard 100 for Athtaros. Last rotation was the first time that I beat him. This is the first time that I beat Lyrith. And for him, I was using Vero because that's what I used on my normal. When I was approaching Lyrith and Athtaros, the first teams that I started with were the teams that I used on normal. Of course, those did not work at all, because Hard is very different, I found. So that's where I started, because it's what I've used, and it's what's worked on normal, always. Oh, shoot, I just started a run, but my egg timer is telling me to check the magic shop. I'm hoping I get 5 more light and dark summoning pieces, because that would put me at another scroll for the July 2nd summoning session with Reefy. So I think I'll have 6 light and dark scrolls to summon. So I have like 5 more days, so hopefully I can do it. It might be actually 6 because counting today, because it's like midnight-ish. What was I even talking about before this? Okay, so back to the example of the Athtaros thing. So for hard on Athtaros, I started with my normal team, which was for Athtaros, if you guys watch my TOA normal videos, my team is usually, I can switch it up on Athtaros, but with Lyrith on normal, I still have to use the same team. So for normal Athtaros, usually I used, for the first time ever, it was Beretta, Vero, Bella, Bernard, and Shannon, and that's what I used for like the longest time to clear Athtaros. So that's where I started, and I used that team, and it didn't work. I was able to kill both crystals, but then I wasn't able to tank or heal through his damage. So that whole team looked like all kind of sorts of messed up. So then I started to work from there, and eventually, I don't remember when, but I came to the conclusion that Vero like pretty much does nothing on the final boss wave on Athtaros. He does help with dots, but besides that, it's pretty much nothing. So it kind of is not the best idea to have dead weight on your team, and it's also not the best idea to overlap too much. Like, if you overlap slows on hard 90 this month, which was Artemil, I actually brought Arya and Shannon, and you do overlap slows, but I found that it was fine. I usually like to stay away from that because it's not good. But it ended up working, so sometimes you have to try some crazy things. I think to myself, I was thinking, I did 90, failed a couple times, and then I think it actually took me like a long time to come to this conclusion. I think I tried 90 maybe like 15 times, and then I was ready to give up and go to sleep and then try again the next day. And then before I was going to sleep, I thought to myself, what if I do something, like it just kind of came to me. I was like, what if I do something crazy and bring Shannon for the defense buff, and then also have a slow and more stuns, so I can like kind of always keep up a slow, and it worked. So, troubleshooting, I'm just kind of explaining my process still of how I choose teams, and writing notes would be helpful so I could maybe like walk you guys through all of the stuff, but it's kind of a long process. Sometimes, like for hard this month, I did it probably 75 to 100 times, and it's hard to write down everything and like every thought, and I was really tired, and I was like making the worst decisions. If you guys watch my replays, like I'm not gonna post them, but I was recording a bunch of videos for it. I didn't save them all, but I saved some of them. I saved one because I knew like I was just being so stupid with the abilities that I was using. So if you like look at it, it's just like insane because I was just so tired and like being really bad. So I think I'll talk a little bit about this wave. This is like a really hard wave, and this is where my team shines pretty much. I don't think it actually shines too much on the last wave because I feel like I should be able to keep the Charlotte and the 2 Velajuels permastunned with my original team. So I'm pretty sure the only reason I used this team was for this specific wave, that this wave is harder than the boss wave. And the reason is because that immunity. I did beat this before, and I did record it. I think it was on normal, though. I'm pretty sure this can only appear on 98 on Athtaros. So I'm sure it was on 98 on normal, and I'm pretty sure I have the video somewhere. I could probably check, but I don't really want to right now. So I used a different team, though, and I think I used Bella and then kind of like nuked out one of the water ones, and then once one water one is dead, it kind of makes it easier. And then once they use their immunity, like if you can get past that phase when it's down, then it's easier because one's immunity is down. Sometimes you get lucky and they overlap it. I think this time around they actually like overlapped it, like all 3 did. So that was pretty nice. So my team is just a very tanky stall team, and that's what helped me pass this wave. So once you kill one of the water ones, Fedora, then it's like easy from then on and just gets easier. And the final fight is a little bit similar to this because I just don't have too many stuns. My team is... Actually, I do have a fair bit of CC. So we'll have to watch the last one to see what exactly happens, because I do not have the Velajules and Chloe perma-stunned. Even though maybe I should. I think, like, the weak link on my team, like, he's not the weak link, but he's the one who doesn't bring a lot of CC. Shasun is fine. I feel like she brings a lot to the table. But Briand, he doesn't have any skill ups, and, like, that's the reason why I don't like using him too much. I feel like he can't do his Deadly Wave enough, which is his Despair stun stuff. And also, he's Wind against Fire, so maybe that's why he can't, like, stun them too much. So maybe that's the whole reason why I didn't have them perma-stunned. Plus, I don't have a slow. That's the biggest thing. I just realized that. I always tell you guys having a slow is, like, really good for a lot of stuff. I couldn't fit one in here, though, because this team is superior to... Well, not superior, but for me, this team worked. But slows are, like, super helpful. But it didn't work on this level for me, so... That's the reason why I couldn't keep them perma-stun, though, because once they're slowed, you just move so many more times, you have more times to get your cooldowns up and attempt more stuns and stuff like that, and attempt more, like, Despair stuns. So, yeah, I'm just farming dragons right now. I'm back in dragons because this TOA Hard rotation was, like, so difficult. I want to get better runes so it's not so hard next time. So, I'm back in dragons. Also, for free run removal, I haven't talked about this yet, but I guess I will. And I'm going to talk about it in Path to Decency, but I have, like, a new strategy for free run removal, and I'm going to start preparing, like, soon, because free run removal is in, like, 4 days? 5 days, counting today. So, wait, no. It's on Saturday. It's when the summoning session is. So, I don't know why Rifu would do that, though. Because free run removal is kind of like a big deal. But it's okay. I don't think the summoning session will last too long. Maybe like an hour or two or something. Maybe even less. I think he'll be streaming quite a bit, though. Maybe he's, like, doing, like, I don't know, like, kind of like a combo, like a free run removal stream plus the summoning session. That's kind of a good idea to, like, attract viewers and stuff. Like, we have a whole day planned, that sort of thing. So... For free rune removal, my plan is a little bit different from usual. Usually I would just, like, find upgrades, like, kind of go through my runes and not power things up to 12, because sometimes I do get lucky and, like, maybe I will have a blue rune, so a blue rune's only gonna have, like, 2 substats. It might have, like, a prefix or whatever, like the weird one is that doesn't upgrade. So the blue rune has 2, and then sometimes when you upgrade that to 9 and 12, I got lucky on a couple runes. Like, I think one of them on my Lagmaron got, like, attack and then speed for 9 and 12. And then the other 2 were, like, crit rate, crit damage, or something like that. So I don't know the exact rune, but I remember that happened. So usually on free rune removal, I would kind of ignore all those blue runes and not actually power them up. So I need to get better at, like, seeing what potential they have. So for this FRR, I am going to power up more runes. I'm going to look at my current monsters, like the ones that I use a lot, and go through all of their runes and see if any are, like, extremely bad, and then probably look to replace those extremely bad ones. And then I'm also going to start, like, the overflow of runes that I have, because my rune quality has gotten, like, pretty good on my main monsters. Like, I keep saying it's bad and good, like, it's kind of both, if you guys can understand. It's confusing language, but it just kind of depends how you look at it. So I have, like, a lot of decent runes that I can't use because they're not good enough for my main monsters, but they're good enough for, like, all the monsters that I don't use. So I think I'm going to start putting runes on, like, monsters like Megan, Darian, Kona, monsters that kind of have potential that I could use, but that I don't right now. So that's going to be, like, the new big thing for free rune removal. So I have some stuff planned, but I really need to work on it now. I also don't think I'm going to use any rune optimizers, in case anyone out there is curious, because it doesn't work for my iPhone, and I've used them before, but they just get too complicated, I feel. Like, it's just way too hard to figure out all of the puzzle pieces and, like, do all of that. I'm sure I could do it if I wanted to, but I think I'm just going to, like, do the work myself and work really hard at powering up my runes and, like, looking at rune potential. Another big part of free rune removal is actually knowing which runes are good. I find that, like, I still struggle with that, like, knowing, should I keep this rune? Should I sell it? Could it be good? And I don't even know, like, a lot of monsters. Like, I don't even really know how copper is supposed to be built. I have one, and I know a lot of monsters don't even want runes that copper wants. So, like, I don't even know. I think it's, like, crit rate, crit damage, and defense, and I think that's it. Speed, I'm not really sure about. So it kind of is difficult when you don't know, like, ahead of time what monsters you're looking to build and what runes could work on them. Because I feel like choosing runes is all about knowing what you're going to build in the future, and it's not really kind of like there was like one rune guide on Reddit that was kind of good, and it tells you like here are the energy runes that you want to keep, and then it's like energy, like speed slot 2, always keep, or something like that. And there are some that like you can just rule out totally and not even keep at all, but I don't really like to do it that way, and it's like too hard to memorize everything, you know? It's hard to like memorize like, okay, it's an endure rune, slot something with these stats, sell. Like I feel like that's too computer programmy and not really like how it is, because I feel like you'll miss out on like a lot of good runes if you do that. I'm sure it'll work though, but I think the natural way to do it is like know what you want to build and then keep runes for that. And it's just hard to know in general because I don't know all the monsters or what they want. So I think I'm doing a pretty good job though of keeping runes. And of course you always have to think about broken sets, and like you always want to keep a rune if it's a really good attack rune but it's like endure or something, you want to keep it because you can probably use it and you probably will. So I'm talking about random stuff when we're doing TOA because I don't really know what to talk about, because the main thing was like the second wave, and then everything is kind of self-explanatory. I just have like a really tanky team and I'm spreading out all my debuffs, and then the only thing was like the second wave, just killing the fedoras one by one, and then it gets easier. I was gonna say something. The main reason I'm recording this, I don't know if I said it, was because this is like my first time beating Lyrith. So if I have this video out there, I will actually be able to go back and see what I used and use it again. And it's going to help people, maybe, if they have the same units as me. I know I had to break out some non-easy to obtain options like Chasun and Briand, which kind of sucks, but I had to do it because that's like the only options I have that'll work. I mean, maybe I could have done something else, but I don't really know. And I didn't want to waste time like messing around and playing around with easy to obtain options for you guys, but eventually I will whenever I can, whenever I have the rune quality or wisen up and figure out what I can use that I have. So yeah, it's kind of just to show you guys like my first clear, rune quality, that sort of thing. Slowly but surely. That's what I always say. This level will be defeated, and then we're on to 99. I don't think 99 was that bad, but then 100 was bad. It took me many, many tries. More dragons. My dragons runs are so slow, I wish they'd be faster, but they're like 3 minutes, 30 seconds. Kinda sucks, but it's like so different compared to giants because my giants runs are like 2 minutes, so it feels like so much longer. Eventually they'll speed up though whenever I get better monsters or rune quality to where I can start building a speed dragons team, but I don't think so yet. I don't think that'd be possible. Come on, die, bastards. I'm going to also have my runes and skill ups in a photo album in the description, in case you guys want to check it out. So some of my monsters do not have skill ups, just Chasun and Briand. Chasun has 2, Briand has 0, so you guys can see like which specific ones they are. For Chasun, it's her 1st and 3rd, both have 1 point. So check those out. And I will be farming dragons. Hopefully free rune removal goes better, and then I can improve some of my monsters and then make TOA hard easier. I'm so determined. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I'm like so determined to keep beating TOA hard, even though I wasted time. But I don't know, I'm playing the game anyways, so why not do something that I want to do rather than the most optimal method of farming runes. Sometimes I feel like being like paying money. Like I don't pay any money. I've only paid $35 so far. So I feel like sometimes I feel like paying money would be a good thing and like I'd progress faster and stuff. But like when I think about how much I play, like I feel like it's like a decent amount and enough to where I don't need to spend money. Like spending money would maybe just like overwhelm me and I'd have so many crystals and I'd be like, I actually can't get rid of these because my dragon zones are 3 damn minutes long. So it just takes too long to get rid of all of them. Unless I ran giants, which I guess would be fine. And probably better if I like did kind of like a combo. Okay, so now we're on 99. So that's it for that stage. Mainly the second one was why my whole team was there. So that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you guys on 99.